Shika, I think the points that you brought down from point of view of school and parents and the individual, even if a bit of it could be imbibed from all corners, then the problem could be managed to a certain extent. And because we've been heavily dealing with the role that parents play in here, I'd like to bring in a few more points before we end. That at times as parents we try to fit in the child's growth into the experiences that we had while growing up, and they don't exactly fit because there is a long gap of time, so almost 25 to 30 years between your growing up and your child's growing up. So even if we could drop some part of that expectation, that how it happened in our time and how it's happening now, and looking very condescendingly towards this difference in generations, if we could simply understand it as a change of context and start adapting to that new context in terms of children, maybe those communication channels that we were speaking of could be smoother. Secondly, when we talk of competition and compassion, to be taught together, as important as it is to keep moving forward, to keep doing well, to succeed and to acquire and achieve, it's equally important to take others along. And if this could be exemplified in our behavior, only then would the younger lot in front of us would learn this. So, not making the competition cutthroat at every point, and not trying to feed into other people's insecurities or other people's weaknesses to fill up our own selves, is something that can go a long way in creating a healthy social fabric. I'm not saying that bullies and victims will stop existing. That's a natural tendency. Some children are more aggressive, some people are more aggressive, some are less assertive. These differences will stay, but the number or the sheer percentage at which this happens and the kind of damages it does might get normalized or might get reduced if the basic social development of children that happens in families and in outside their house is more equitable, more compassion driven. It sounds very, very, I don't know, at times I find when people interact with me on this point, it sounds very undoable to them, or it sounds very bookish, but it's not. It's very simple. Compassion shows up in very, very simple ways. If there is a child around you who is not able to master, let's say, a question in class, or is not able to understand something and you've understood it, rather than putting your hand up and saying that, ma'am, I can do it, or I have done it, just helping the other child to just trudge along and try and catch up. Simple thing. So, if someone is not able to do something, or if someone is simple things like if someone's dress is a little odd or pulled up or pulled down, just going to a corner, taking them to a corner and telling them, rather than publicly ridiculing somebody. So it comes from very small little things, and it comes with an intent to help and not to pull down.
Yes.
So if this somehow could be imbibed in young children, in the younger generation, only by example, not just by saying that you pull everybody down around you and you keep telling your child that no, it's not good to pull others down. The child will constantly be in a dissonance till they understand what you're doing. Secondly, from point of view of children, actually I think as parents or as grown-ups, we sermonize at times so much that the child starts to unknowingly idolize what we do and keep imitating what the parents do. Children also, they are sharp. The current generation is sharp and grows up earlier than we were maturing before. So they also need to start using their own wisdom to understand what behavior of their parents as a social being is incorrect and what is correct. Probably pick the better ones. So if you see that you're, in a social gathering, your father has this tendency to pull someone down and then bring a laugh to the group, or your mother is doing that in the group. Even if you think you don't want to point it out to yourself. Understand that this is something that is not a very long-term good strategy to bring attention or spotlight to yourself. Nothing will bring spotlight to you than your excellence, or your humanitarian behavior, or how good you are with people. So nobody will remember you for your marks or for your achievements. People will remember how you made them feel, and if you made them feel bad, then that's not a good way to be remembered. That's not a good way to get attention. So many times we normalize the bad also because we see it happening daily in our family. So if you understand something is good, you understand something is bad, even if it's tough, try and take the tougher route and pay more heed to what good is happening around.